through a process of internalizing various kinds of stress, physical, chemical, emotional, mental, it constricts and compresses the body. And the body, which has like a natural motion to it, from every cell to every joint to every organ, is in a constant micro motion of expansion and contraction. And those stress events that either happen all at once, like a trauma, or gradual stress events that may happen over a period of time. Like, let's say working in an environment that's where there's some very aggressive factor that makes you feel stressed, but it's like a micro development that you internalize. That, what we call stress, it's actually a nebulous word, has a consequence in the physical body, and it causes the soft tissue system of the body to constrict. That all then will constrict blood flow, energy flow, and it will lock a person down into the time period where that stress took place. So it becomes an internalized information about that time period that then starts to overlay on future events, so that while we're experiencing the present, it's being filtered by what happened in the past. And so you could say that we're not operating on real-time information. During treatment, what we try to do is identify that stress system and release it from the system.
Wow, that's huge, because so many people are walking around with all that tension and stress, especially from trauma, all sorts of trauma. As a guidance counselor, I saw it in children, and as a macrobiotic chef and counselor, I see it all the time with people. You know, that's has to be addressed. And I assume that when you go through these treatments that your emotions or, you know, your mental state too changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a feedback
Releases.
loop in both directions toward becoming more emotionally chaotic. Then that affects the body, and then the body affects the emotions, and that becomes like a negative loop. And as the person recovers from that and releases these compressions, and there's more of this energy, or what we call life force, begins to flow back through the system, then it becomes like a positive loop on the emotions. And so encountering different situations, we may take away from that something more positive, but when we're in the negative loop, then we see a lot of things as being way more negative than they really are.
Oh.
And the thing that I wanted to say also was that when the system is in that stress compression, even if we're taking really good quality food, that it can degrade the quality of the food and acidify it, or cause it really not to digest and become stagnated within the body.
Wow,
So
that's
I've seen
huge.
people change over to really healthy diets like macrobiotics, and I'm a big enthusiast for macrobiotics, but they could not absorb a lot of what was in the food. They couldn't break it down because their system was already in a state that wouldn't allow that to happen thoroughly. Stress has a physiological mechanism to it. It affects the physiology of the body, and that when there's a stress event, it causes this restricting of energy flow, you can say, or life force flow, but contained within that is always information. So it's also an information disconnect when the compression is there, and a recovery of more accurate real-time information as it releases.
Okay, so as it releases, your body actually has the knowledge and the know-how hidden back there. So as it releases, that opens up, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's even a physiology to the so-called inner guide. You know, we have an internal GPS that gets skewed through these compressions, or, you know, this interference on real-time information, and the accuracy of that GPS, that internal mechanism that's guiding us, you know, to a balance point or to a healthy point, is also recovered.
So that gives you information, but also the person information?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.